What's going on, guys? Hello, and welcome back to another edition of Sir Derwin Speaks. As always, it's indeed a pleasure and an honor for you guys to come on board and be viewing this video on today as we come together to encourage one another in these storms and these trials and tribulations and just trying to be great. I pray that you're having an amazing day today when you're viewing this. No matter what we're going through, no matter how off focus we've become, just know that we can become greater and we can become better. I want to bid you greetings to those that are returning, the subscribers that have already come on board with Sir Derwin. We once again give you honor and we thank you so much for being a part of our family. For those that haven't subscribed yet, we ask you that if you view this video and find some content that has value, we ask you to click that like button. Subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so we can continually get notifications when I'm dropping some fresh content. We want to get right into today. We got some great things that we want to share and talk about on today. We're not going to go through any structured teaching on today. We're basically going to be coming to you from what's come from experience and what has been revealed. But we want to talk this day from a subject that is really something that's going to build us into something great and release the potential that's inside of you. Have you ever wondered, have you ever just thought about what is it that I'm really called to do? What is it that I should be doing at this point of my life? All of us have had these types of conversations with ourselves. At this point in my life, what should I be doing? You ever thought about that? I want you to think about that for a minute. Let that resonate. At the point in your life right now, are you doing what you should be doing? I'm 60 years old and I've been just starting to begin, and it's been a while now, but it's just starting to begin to get a grasp of what direction I should be heading in at this point of my life. Sometimes we wasted so many years and gone through so many things and wanted to throw in the towel. But at this point in my life, I've got to learn to understand that my failures were not final. Yes, I'm talking to you this morning, and I want to encourage you this morning that your failures are not final. I don't care how much we've been through in our life, how many times you've struggled. I don't care how many times you've been up and down and in and out. Your failures are not final. And you probably asking yourself a question, why isn't my failures final? Your failure is not final because God is God is requiring us. You know why I'm saying requiring? Let me say why I say require. Because anything that we do in this life, there's work that we have to do. I don't care about whatever you're dealing with, whatever stuff we're coming out of and going through, there's still work that has to be done on our part. So many times people have done things for us and helped us and brought us through, but it's time for us to stand up. It's time to stand up and be what you're supposed to be. It's like so many times we get caught up in our day-to-day situations and circumstance that we really forget about what we have the potential to do. So when we look at a failure or something that doesn't work right, we give up. Your failures are not final. Some of our blessings are delayed, but they're not denied. There's a process that comes from the fact that in our mindset, that we failed when we've got to change the mindset from an earthly mindset to a kingly mindset and say, you know what? That's a lesson. A failure is not a failure when you still have the ambition to keep going. It becomes a failure when you stop. But when you keep going, it's a lesson. How many times have you fallen and then eventually you got back up again, you got yourself together, and then you were ready to go? Some faster than others. But the ability that's inside of you that God has given you, you've got to learn to awaken that In the toughest times of our lives, not in prosperity. We don't seem to pray as much. We don't tend to be around good people all the time. But we've got to change the mindset. We got to change the mindset where we've got to begin to look at certain things that are going on in our lives and say, you know what? Where should I be at this point in my life? And what have failures helped shape in my life? Those failures that we call them, and the letdowns and the disappointments and the bad relationships, those things are not final. They are not the end for us. That's not the end for you. The level of greatness that is on your life and where you're getting ready to head requires you to be intentional about your efforts. That every time something comes that challenges you and it seems like you're going to fall short, you got to stand up, be accountable, and learn from that experience. Some people learn faster than others. I'm still learning to begin to organize and put things into a better perspective so that I can be goal-minded. Like, we'll put goals there, but we don't put any effort to setting ourselves up. So we set ourselves up for what? What do we set ourselves up for when we don't have a goal attached to what we're doing on a day-to-day? We fail, as we think. When you don't learn the lesson that comes from what just happened and you stop, you failed. But when you come through something or going through something and still have a determination that I'm going to make it, and that's you. It's not a failure, it's a lesson. You have to lose to win. Basic life lessons. Basics. We say it all the time in our videos. How would you know what a win is if you never lost? Every time something happens in your life, or we what we call failing, or didn't come to pass the way we wanted to come to pass, man, let's let that motivate us. Let's say there's going to be a lesson in this. That's a different mindset. I'm looking at something that normally would bring me pain, but now I'm looking at it, man, that's going to take me to the next level. Do you want to go to the next level? What is the next level for you? What would you determine is the next level for you at this point in your life? Right now, all cut and dry, stop for a minute. Is there more that we can do? Is it that when something doesn't happen the way it should, can we step behind the confusion and see the blessing? See, the pain, the blessing comes after the pain. See, sometimes in the natural, when we get hurt, it just goes on and on. But God has a blessing after our pain. He is in covenant with us. Every trial and tribulation you go through, there's a crowd just cheering, angels and people in the spirit realm. I mean, things in the spirit realm just rejoicing at the fact of your advancement. You stepped beyond the confusion. Have confusion ever stopped any of you guys? Have confusion in the family, on the job, and maybe even in ministry confused you? Has there been a lot of stuff going on that you just can't figure out in our lives? One thing I've learned over time is that I've got to learn to build on what seemingly was a loss. Because God has attached and told me and let me know that we're royalty. So if you're royalty and you understand you can do all things, see, we've got to learn to connect ourselves in the natural situation and apply spiritual principles. We no longer can make excuses about why we can't do this and why we can't do that. Most of it comes from why we do not properly align ourselves and apply ourselves. Do you apply yourself as best as you could? A lot of times we don't even talk about that. Have I applied myself the best that I can? Have I put forth my best effort to become the better version of myself? Asking you. It's not always easy coming into a place or to a space that we're not accustomed to. And if that place is a place of peace, it seems strange to us. And then we gravitate back to which we were comfortable with. But man, we don't have to keep staying because those failures are not final. In the alphabet, the letter L comes before the W. This is a little pun. You got to lose. You got to get an L before you get the W, before you win. There's a greater appreciation, more gratitude and gratefulness when you come out of a storm, when you come out of a situation, when you felt like getting back up again and something tries to knock you back down. Have any of you guys ever experienced that, that's viewing this? Seemed like when you were standing up, something came and just tried to knock you right back down. But you're still standing. Look at you. You're still going. Yeah, you might not have the money. You might not have the best husband, the best wife, and your family's kind of. But see, that's a mindset. You got to believe that things are going to change, and you got to affirm it, not just with your words, but with your actions. See, that's the problem. A lot of us talk that talk, but we don't match the walk with the talk. Levels of greatness comes as we begin to understand the process and that we gotta sometimes fail, learn the lesson, apply the knowledge, and keep moving with wisdom. That's a principle, man. That's basic. That's basic life math. The greatness that is on your life wants you to stay stuck in the confusion and the not being encouraged and frustrated that it's not happening. Your time doesn't mean that it's not going to happen. God's time is always perfect. Have you ever wanted something at a certain time and didn't get it? We kind of get perturbed about it, get a little upset about it. Don't try to get upset with God, but then all of a sudden it turns around and it happens. You say, man, that came right on time. It has happened to me so many times because we're anxious people. We want it right now. And the world is moving so fast and we're running fast to try to keep up. So we're making spontaneous, we're making instant decisions, spontaneous. So we're just jumping right on, making a decision right then. Not thinking. And I'm talking from revelation because I've been so guilty of this. So guilty of not taking time and really hold up, wait a minute. You ever had one of those hold up, wait a minute, let me think about this for a minute. All I know is that I've lost a lot of things, that I've lost a lot of people, but I can still be great. See, we got to get that in our mindset and affirm it with our actions and our intentions. Are you an intentional person? Are you intentional about what you do and your efforts towards walking towards your greatness after you've lost some things or what you say failed at something? Those failures are the blueprint to your success. The things you've lost, the stuff you've gone through and come out of is the blueprint to your success. Every time you lose something and you learn from it and then apply the knowledge, you stand up and become greater. The Bible even teaches us this. When we come out of stuff and we trust the process of God, a lot of times we all are in a process. While we're in the process, just like when you make a cake, it's a process. You don't go in the oven and mess with that cake while it's in that process. There are some of us in a process right now that can't be disturbed. That's why things are not changing. You say, ain't nothing changing in my life. You're in a process. Wait till it gets to the next phase. You're getting ready to be great. I don't talk about the stuff we fail at. We all fail. We all go through stuff. We all want to give up. But what are you giving up for? What are you giving up for? What are you throwing in the towel for? What are you walking away for? Man, stand. Ain't no time to turn around now. I've got to learn and how to make a decision, and a good decision. I got to look at what I went through and come out of it and say, you know what? The blessing is after the pain. You notice how when you go to a gym and you work out and you get sore, man, you be wanting to give up. But then when you start looking in that mirror and you start seeing that body shape up and tune up, man, you say, whoo, the blessings. It's after the pain. The blessing is after the failure, when you got back up and started again. Do you know what a winner is? A winner is only a loser that tried one more time. That's all. That's all. The places that you're going to go and the things that you're going to be blessed with, God wants you to know that you got to go through the blueprint. And the blueprint is that you got to fail, and delayed but does not mean denied. Sometimes we don't get things that happen in our lives and we feel like, man, what did I do to God? Start praying and start crying out. Man, listen, let me tell you something. God understands what we go through, but it's up to us to be intentional about making things right and doing the right things. We got to look at every time we go through a failure or a situation that we say is not successful and say, you know what? I could have did that different. I could have went at it with a different approach. You know, a lot of times when we're moving so fast trying to keep up, we make mistakes. I want you to be encouraged on today, and I want you to begin to, invest in yourself to the point where you look at all the stuff you've been through. Think about it over all those years, all the stuff you've been through. You still here. All the sicknesses, all the bad relationships, divorce. I mean, just family issues, children, health, jobs, ministry, just stuff always going on. You still here. Why are you still going? Why do you have the fortitude to keep going? You know why? Because you've been through some things and you kept wanting to keep going. I applaud you. Don't let nobody take away that trophy in your life that you've been through so much and you still hanging on. Let's get going and keep moving. Your failures are not final. They don't talk to you. You talk to them. Tell that failure you're a blueprint for me. I'm going to learn from it. I'm going to stand up and be great. Oh, they said I never make it, but look at me now. Should have been still on drugs, still in the streets, still incarcerated. But look at me now. God has changed my life because I was intentional about my part in the process. There's an intentional part that you have to do. You do that and God's going to do that. Let's work on ourselves and see every mistake, every what we call as a failure, as a blueprint to success. Because you can be successful and you will be successful. Success is not tangible things, cars and homes, and the ability to use what you know and to take what you know and share it. Let's be great. I want you this week to continue to work on being a better version of yourself. And when something comes, you look at that situation and say, you know what? I learned from that. And that's the blueprint to my success. Thank you guys so much for being a part of the fresh revelation that God is revealing to us about no matter what it seems like as a loss, God's going to turn it around into a gain. This is a new day for you. After this video, I want you to go and pray and meditate. I said, Lord, at this point in my life, I'm looking at everything I've went through and know that my failures were not final. You can't be stopped. You stop you. Let's go. I thank God for each and every one of you guys that have tuned in, that have watched the video possibly all the way through or skipped through. I hope that you found some value that will help you understand that if you look back over your life and all the things that we say we failed at, look, they were blueprints to success. I'm just telling you, your failures are not final. If you found some value in this video, I'm asking you to hit the subscribe button, ring the bell so you can get notification, and give me a thumbs up, guys. Leave a comment. I would love to talk with you guys. You struggling with just trying to start your ambition, kind of stir the pot of your motivation? Hit me up in the comments. I'll definitely get back to you. Would love to share with you some of the things, I've been through. I'm going to share some of my testimony. Maybe it'll motivate somebody. But we just want to talk to the masses and to the world today to let you know that the rest of this week, your failures are not final. It's delayed, but it's not denied. We thank God for each and every one of you guys. Until the next show, until the next broadcast, Sir Derwin speaks, and let the people listen. We love each and every one of you guys. Until the next time, we see you in the next video. Thank you guys. Share this video. God bless.